Today we're going to talk about the 10 don'ts in buying a home in Wisconsin. Like anything else, you need to protect your investment. In a market where you're often paying tens of thousands over list price, waiving inspections, consider the following 10 items as guidelines in purchasing a home in Wisconsin. Number 1, don't buy a home without a basement in Wisconsin. Most homes in Wisconsin have a basement for a reason. Foundations have to be poured 3 to 4 feet deep. Footings need to go that deep below the frost line. And for resale, finished basement or basement space that can be finished off is often done a lot cheaper than adding on to a home. So don't buy a home without a basement in Wisconsin. Number 2, don't buy a home with old wiring, knob and tube wiring, or fuses. Over time, heat from the wires causes the rubber coating to get brittle and break, which can lead to exposed live wires with knob and tube. Knob and tube wiring is often hidden in attics or wall cavities, making its condition difficult to assess. It's hard to insure a home that has knob and tube wiring. It's important to get an inspection. Government loans won't insure homes with fuses, and updating the home's wiring can run you thousands of dollars. So be sure to not buy a home with old wiring, or at least price accordingly for that. Number 3, don't buy a home that doesn't conform to zoning. Location, location, location. Consider the location. Is it near a commercial? Is it backing up to a parking lot? It has a railroad or busy street. Consider the resale. Consider location. Drive by the home, at commute times to see how busy it is or how noisy it is. You can't move the house when reselling. Number 4, don't buy a home with a lot of deferred maintenance unless priced accordingly. For example, no record of furnace maintenance, electric panel is outdated, the home is dirty, it has stained ceilings, maybe there's something growing in the gutters. Maybe the front step's sinking, maybe the handles are loose, maybe there's no railings going to the basement, maybe there's rotted windowsills. These all show deferred maintenance, lack of care, could cost you a lot of money to update them. Number 5, don't buy a home without a garage in Wisconsin. Consider that we have 3 months of winter. Consider that, there's inclement weather and that you're going to probably want a garage. If the house is priced accordingly without a garage, at least hopefully you have space for a garage. Doesn't necessarily have to be an attached garage, but in Wisconsin, we value our garages, and for resale, you're going to want a garage. Number 6, don't buy a flip home without checking with the municipalities to see if the permits were taken out, or if that person who flipped the home isn't willing to share with you contractors' names and numbers, or if you see a lack of quality in the house, maybe the trim doesn't match up, maybe a poor paint job, the term lipstick on a pig is there for a reason. They could have done the cheap things to try to cover up things, and you might just be buying something that is going to cost you a lot of money down the road. For example, basements. A flip often paints the walls of the basement and the floors of the basement. Or if there's, maybe paneling or something on the walls that is hiding possibly bad basement walls, be sure to check around the outside of the foundations. Again, the importance of a home inspection. Another thing you want to check for is the condition of the roof and the condition of the kitchen. Pull out those cabinets, see if the drawers line up. All those things are important in a flip. Number 7, don't buy a home with foundation issues, like sagging floors, maybe lack of supports in an older home. Maybe in the basement, the windows are coming forward, or some of the plumbing or the walls had visible cracks, whether it be a step crack or whether it have a horizontal crack. Don't buy a home with horizontal cracks in the basement showing daylight outside with no bracing. Get an expert in. It may not be that big a deal, but you need to know what you're dealing with. It's a very expensive fix to fix a bad foundation. In Wisconsin, we have a lot of clay soils. We have a lot of basements that are butted up against driveways. So there's a lot of pressure between the freeze and thaw. You can encounter cement block foundations. You can encounter poured foundation. You can encounter fieldstone foundations in older homes that could be 20 to 24 inches thick. Like I said, nearby driveways, supports may be needed. Bracing may be needed, maybe new drain tile, maybe grading. It may not be that big a deal, but get an expert opinion. Number 8, don't buy a new home without a builder's warranty. All builders should provide a 12-month warranty for nail pops, dings. They should provide all the booklets and brochures and pamphlets, phone numbers of the contractors, the subs that worked on the home, paint colors, the name of the cabinets, the name of all the plumbing, the electrician, the plumber, the roofer, their phone numbers in case there's any issue. And that should be a 12-month warranty. And most builders will provide that, but be forewarned that it's important to have that up front. 9, don't buy a home with asbestos covered pipes in the basement if they're friable or loose. So in older homes, they would put asbestos flooring, and they also put asbestos around some of the heating pipes and the plumbing pipes in the basement. And they're fine if they're intact, but if they're loose and they're friable, and that's when they become dangerous and they can get into your lungs. So again, the importance of a home inspection and being aware of what you're buying. 10, don't buy the most expensive home in the neighborhood. If you're looking for appreciation, that house is going to appreciate less than everything else in the neighborhood. There really is some truth to that. Buy the mid-range home. And the same goes for, don't buy a home that isn't similar to homes in the neighborhood. Don't buy a $500,000 home if you're surrounded by $200,000 homes. Now, again, on a waterfront or expensive lot, there may be smaller homes that you buy and you're just going to tear it down and you're buying it for the lot. But statistically, if you're buying in a neighborhood, you want your home to not be the most expensive home in the neighborhood. Now we're going to talk about the things you do think of when buying a home. Do consider the proximity to amenities, school districts, and the road condition, and commute. Do consider costs of replacing expensive items like deteriorating siding, roofs, gutters, furnaces. Do consider a home inspection at a minimum. At a minimum, do an HVAC inspection or a furnace inspection and a roof inspection. Or if you have any questions about the foundation, have a foundation expert come in and give an unbiased opinion about the foundation. Maybe it's just a grading issue. Do buy a home with a garage, if at all possible. Do consider the cost of disposing of hazardous substances left behind. If you're working with a seasoned veteran realtor and there's all kinds of old paint, you can ask that person what's going to become of all these things, whether it's chemicals in the basement or in the final walkthrough, you can make sure that those are gone. Do consider the cost of home ownership other than the property taxes, the home insurance, the principal and interest. Maintenance like clearing snow, mowing the lawn, unexpected repairs like a furnace or central air going out. Consider those and budget accordingly. Do consider the cost of insurance and a floodplain. There are some homes that are built in a floodplain in Wisconsin, and resale takes longer and it costs more for homeowners insurance. Consider functional obsolescence when buying a home. Can you overcome it? If there's no garage, is there room for a garage? Is there only one bathroom? Is there room for a second bathroom? If it's a 2-bedroom, are you willing to live with that? A 2-bedroom does not command as much money as a 3-bedroom upon resale. These are all things to consider. Again, functional obsolescence could be, in relation to the neighborhood. Is it an up-and-coming neighborhood? Do people take care of their homes? You have to look at it as a home as an investment. At all times, you have to consider resale. Average home is resold every 10 years. You want a good return on your investment. The biggest expenses are the roof, which could run you $10,000 to $20,000. Foundation, which could run you tens of thousands of dollars. HVAC, if you have to replace a furnace or central air unit, you're looking at anywhere from $3,000 to $5,000 each. Mold remediation, you want to make sure that you're not buying a home where you're going to have to mold remediate. If you're buying a home in the country, most septic and wells have 2 to 3 years where they have to be inspected. Consider doing water tests. Consider the cost if you have to drill a new well or have to put in a new septic. Electrical can be expensive. It can create a situation where the home is not insurable if you buy it with knob and tube or fuses. So look at all those things and work with a seasoned agent when writing your offer. So these are all things that you should consider. So do your homework. If you'd like to learn more about homes in Wisconsin and how I sell homes in Wisconsin, or if you'd like to put your home on the market and you'd like to know what helps sell your home, give me a call. Check out Northeast Wisconsin Homes. Until next time, we will visit your city.